So we can just take some moments to begin arriving. We can stand in a posture that's relaxed but comfortable for us. So it's not necessarily a Qigong movement. I'm just sitting here with my hands in my pocket. But I have my knees bent. I'm making sure not to lock my knees out. And while I stand here, I'm just feeling my body, noticing what's going on inside my body, and softening and relaxing the tension that's in my body. We all have tension all the time. And the more we become aware of it, the more we become aware of it. It's kind of a tautological statement, but the good news is that the more we become aware of it, the more we can do to soften and release the tension. And we can notice it as it even begins to form in the body and release it. And all that aside, we can just start to prepare and get ready for what's in front of us. You know, we have such a habit now of when we're waiting for something, we'll take out our phone and do a bit of scrolling or do this or that quick thing before we start. But we're keeping the mind stimulated, you know. And actually it's just such a good practice to take some moments to just not give the mind something to do, except to give it the practice of focusing on the breath, focusing on the body, and just really arriving in this moment. So we'll start with our first movement, just to get us warmed up. We stand feet shoulder width apart, and we just take some time to come into the soles of the feet. So you can just close your eyes and feel the soles of the feet with the mind or with your awareness. Feel the weight spreading, the toes lengthening, feel the ankles softening, the knees softening and bending, and come down into your waist or into really your pelvic floor. So that means just softening around the hips and the waist, sitting back just a little bit, just enough that we can feel our lower back getting active a little bit, and we feel the weight coming down into the lower abdomen, into the buttocks, into the hips and the waist. We can let the belly go soft and release. Let the arms be heavy, softening around the chest, the ribs, the shoulders and shoulder blades. Tuck the chin in and raise the back of the neck to lengthen the spine upwards. And now just begin to get a sense for your breath as it comes in the body, expands the body, and then softens and releases. Nice, gentle in-breaths and out-breaths. And then when you're ready, we're just going to start to shake the body. So we just shake here, really moving from the waist, the hips, the pelvic floor. Keeping everything nice and relaxed. So noticing where the body is stuck, where you can't feel any movement, or if you like, just really focusing on where you can feel movement. So where it feels really good and limber and soft. The more we practice this, the more that will spread. For now, just noticing where it feels good, and then maybe some places where it feels less good. As I was saying last week, one really good place to focus on is the lower belly, the abdomen. So letting that part of the body go real soft and letting the shake get into the belly. It sort of feels like a balloon sloshing around in water. And you want to really let that shake penetrate into the organs, into the stomach, spleen, liver, gallbladder, the large and small intestine. If you feel that activating, then what about the lower back and the buttocks, and really in and around the kidneys, bladder and groin? Can you get those active as well, those shaking? What about in your legs? Are the thighs able to shake and move around? Can you feel that superficial layer of the skin jiggling? All really super good for your body. And you know, it's good to practice in different ways, so after spending a little bit of time focusing on various parts of the body, it can be good just to let all that go and just focus on the breath, feeling the breath coming into the body, expanding the body, and as you breathe out, just softening and releasing, even imagining, visualizing tension and the form of maybe soil or dirt just being shaken off the body. Really enjoying that out breath, releasing what no longer serves us. We can even make a little noise as we breathe out, like a sigh. Really helps us get into the chest, into the heart and the lungs, the shoulders. We sound a bit mad, but that's all right. Gotta embrace our madness sometimes. Okay, so we'll stop this one now in a moment. I'll count down from 3. And when we stop, really feeling what's going on in the body, noticing the body. So 3, 2, and 1. So stopping, feeling the body now, coming into our standing. So that work that we were doing at the start, just to stand in a really solid and relaxed way. So doing that work and feeling and enjoying the flow of energy around the body, the tingling, the buzzing, just really letting that circulate. Enjoying your breath. Again, noticing where it feels good, maybe where it feels less good. Just being really curious about the sensations within the body. Super. Okay, so we'll do our next warm-up now, which is our twist. And so like I was saying last week, really good to try and get down into the hips and the pelvic floor for this one. So just turn to the side again. This is kind of a normal standing, just regular Joe Soap standing posture. And when we sort of stand in Qigong, we want to try and get into horse stance, but only a gentle one for now. And that just means taking the quad, which is really the ball and socket joint that connects the leg into the torso. We want to sit back with it. So we want to sit back with our buttocks, with our hips, like we're sitting back on a high chair. And we just gently sit back. Obviously we can do exaggerated or more extended versions of this when we come right down, but we won't do that for now. So just coming up and just sitting back enough that we feel activation in the buttocks, in the abdomen. We'll feel it in the thighs for sure, but not enough that we're causing undue stress or strain on the body. And if you feel, as you continue, stress and strain emerging on the body, particularly in those thighs, which will hurt at the start, then just come out of it a little bit, you know? You can come right out of it and just doing that thing where we just relax the hips, the belly, the buttocks, and even just dropping the weight down slightly into that area is enough. But for this twisting movement, good to try and get into our sitting as best, or our standing, our kind of horse stance posture as best as we can, because that really facilitates the opening and closing of the hips and the ball and socket joint here. Now just checking around you, make sure you got space to do this movement. So arms out wide, turning around from left to right. I'm not going to hit anything, and so now I can start. So I'll get standing. I'll drop my weight down into my hips, my waist, and then I'll start to twist from left to right, really focusing on that ball and socket joint, connecting the legs to the torso, and indeed the arms into the torso. Now the way that you get the arms functioning is by really letting them relax and soften. We don't want to be doing any of the twisting here from the arms, or as much as can be avoided. The arms are only swinging because they are super relaxed and because of the twist in the hips. So the twisting motion, or the momentum I'm creating in my hips, is what's causing my arms to swing. And when you get that, then what's going to happen is the arms will naturally just wrap around the body, and they'll sort of slap the lower belly, the hips, so depending on the length of your arms and your flexibility. And once you're in a nice rhythm of this, just even, soft in and out breaths. 2 or 3 turns per breath. I mean, anything from 2 to 5 is good. And then the same on the out breath. Or maybe a little bit more on the out breath, depending on how many you did on your in breath. But just getting into a nice rhythm with the breathing. And feeling the body while you work. So, In Qigong, we'll take one movement, we'll repeat it over and over again. But it's not about the external movement. Yes, the external movement is doing certain things. Yes, I am strengthening or I'm developing flexibility in my hips, my waist, softening around the body. There's all sorts of physical things that this movement will be doing. Giving myself a little massage in my lower belly, for example, or in the lower back, depending on where my arms are sort of hitting. But the movements have an internal effect as well. And it's really good to develop sensitivity to that while you practice, improving mind-body connection, of course, but also this is how we sort of move and release energies in the body. The movements will cause certain, sometimes tensions and discomforts to kind of come up to the surface, or other things will emerge inside, and they're really just physiological sensations that we can, notice. We need to notice them, we need to, follow them, observe them, be curious about them, and then we can just let them go. We wouldn't worry about them too much, In some ways it's just noise, but it's noise that we need to be attentive to. And if we just focus on the physiological movement, or on the physical movement, the movements don't work as well. So it's really about observing what's going on in the body with the mind. So let's just slow this one down, coming to a really gentle stop. And same deal here, so getting into our kind of standing again, just sitting down a little bit and starting to relax the body. Close down the eyes and just notice what's going on. Just notice how the body's responding. Notice how the external movement stops, but the internal movement does not. Great, so a final movement here, just to really bring some attention into these shoulders, particularly the quad that connects the arms to the chest. And this is a really simple one, but it's very effective. First part of it is just to swing the arms. So just joining me now, swinging the arms. But now don't just swing the arms, right? So bring your attention into particularly the shoulder at the bottom socket joint in the shoulder blades as well. And in and around the side of the ribs. So we have this arm swing going, but we're trying to soften and relax all that area to the point where you can even feel the joint really relaxing. You might even hear it sort of crack a little bit. So we hold up a lot of tension around this area, and this movement's great for kind of wringing it out like a sponge. And we can add a little bend of the knee here. So as the arms come down, I'm just going to bend my knees. So it's a little bounce in the knees here, sort of like a double bounce almost, as the arms come down and back up again. And this little bounce in the knees really helps us to release the tension out the legs. So it's almost like the first part of the movement, the arms swing, is softening, relaxing, releasing the tension around the shoulders and the ribs. And then our little knee bend, which really we want to feel almost like we're dropping down into the waist. So we're releasing down into the waist here, and we're sending the tension out the feet. Super. So we can just slow that one down. Stop our knee bend. And just relax the arms there for a moment. Relax everything for a moment. Shake the legs out. Shake the arms out again. Super. And just grab a glass of water, whatever you need, just to replenish your body. Great. Okay, so for the last part of the class, we're just going to do some movements from the 8 brocades, this kind of central, fundamental set of movements in Qigong practice. Dates back, 1,000 years or so. Well, there's lots of information I could give about it, but let's focus on the actual movements themselves for now. So we're going to do hopefully the first maybe 5 movements, or not the first 5, but the first 4 and then another. But these can be practiced in any order, so no worries at all in the order that we practice them. So just to begin, we'll do our pulling down the heaven. This isn't part of the 8 brocade, but it's just a nice movement to sort of begin the meditate or the practice. And so we have our palms facing up, but heavy palms here. So our arms are down, our palms are face up, and it's like we're holding weights in the arms, in the palms of the hand. So the arms are being weighed down. It's almost like they're pressing down toward the ground, but we're not pressing it ourselves. Because that's causing tension, that's using these muscles. We actually don't really want to use those muscles. We want to just keep those muscles nice and relaxed. And in the literature, what they talk about is moving with the bones. That's a feeling. It's not a literal thing, but it's a feeling that we get. So we keep the body nice and relaxed, keep the palms nice and relaxed here. And as we breathe in, we open the arms out to the side, bringing them into the center, palms facing down. And breathing out, we just soften, we release, we relax the arms down real slow here, no rush. Let's do that again, breathing in, into the belly, arms down, palms down, and breathing out. Softening and relaxing. Once more, breathing in. Try to keep the shoulders nice and relaxed now, don't raise them up. Palms facing down and breathing out. Super. Okay, so this next movement, same starting position, but this time the palms. So just gently coming back to yourself now by maybe making some gentle movements with your feet and your hands. Giving yourself a gentle stretch. And coming to open your eyes when you feel ready to do so. So don't leave the meditation on the mat, but bring it with you. Super. So thanks everyone for joining me.